Sean, I love so many of the little touches referencing shock sites, venting the smarter child, buying a ringtone to impress the girl. Like it's such a human element. Did that come from a lot of revisions or was that always in the script?
Both. I think it was always in the script that a lot of the internet of the time was going to be a part of it. Um, so the ringtones and that, that was very story driven, like the ringtones changing it to shape his identity. Like when does he have hello goodbye? When does he have a normal ringtone? When does he have, the ringtone that he puts on for the skaters? But some of it was figured out in post because we created that all in post. We could change jokes and change lines. So some of the shock value sites that you were talking about, that was a line and a joke that we kind of auditioned different versions of in post to see what would get the best reaction.
Well, Meat Spin's definitely a classic good choice for that for sure. And Isaac, this is referencing a time that you were just a baby for, but it's also this very universal coming of age tale. So, how was it kind of getting to experience the mid 2000s in a way through this film and doing this movie?
It was pretty cool. I mean, I definitely say that experiencing things like kind of learning more about the pop culture overall from the movie was a little bit more difficult because it was basically I had to learn an entirely different like generation, and that was the harder part, especially like things like technological. But I mean, besides that, like it was mostly just kind of getting along with my friends again and just like being myself was like good enough. And I think that's something that you can see as a similarity between now and then is that there's really no difference in how we act. It's mostly just the change in media and culture that's really impacted us.
Yeah, that's a wonderful point. And Jen, you've had such a lovely film career, but I assume this is the first time that a director has had you sniff your own fart in a movie. It's inherently gross, but it's also this really sweet scene in context. So, can you speak to filming that scene in the car?
It was actually hard. I think that
It
was
was
one of
it was a
the
pretty hard it was a
yeah.
pretty hard shot.
It was one of the harder scenes to do. Um, I loved it because it's humorous and real, and I think it came from your real experience or something,
Throwing my
So
mom under the bus, not me. I was farting in the car when we shot it to give her some real things to react. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
He's
um,
the backseat farting himself.
I loved it because though
I did
she
think about
doesn't
that.
appear all the time, but every time she appears, it's a different facet, and that sniffing my own fart is that one one facet of the character. Um, she is sincere when she wants to sniff it out so that the son doesn't suffer as much.
It's beautiful in a way. It really is. And Sean, my last question, your maternal grandmother plays Nai in this. She was also in the documentary. How special was it having her involved?
It was amazing. It felt like, again, like part of trying to make this movie was what choices can we make that only we could make on this movie that will give it a sort of unique spin, that will hopefully set it apart from other movies of this kind. And, having her come into the fold and knock it out of the park opposite Joan, I think, it made the set,
She was great.
yeah, set a
She
lot
was
more fun.
quite a match.